Well, hello and welcome again to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. My name is Pete Connor. I'm your host on this Monday, July 3rd of 2017. A great show today. We're going to be in studio first up with Senator Vicki Jensen. And we'll be talking with her about, I guess, some plans that she's got in mind. And then we'll go on location to Owatonna Hospital with Linda Hoffman of Penny George Institute. As a reminder, we appreciate your input as to what you'd like to see on Owatonna Today. So if you do have a person that you'd like to see have some recognition or an event that needs some coverage, why don't you let us know about that by sending an email to owatonnatoday@charter.net or by calling Leanne, our show's producer, at 390-5751. And now we're going to take a quick break for some messages from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with Senator Jensen. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Betsy Linger from the Owatonna Foundation. Your generosity has made Owatonna a better place to live by benefiting our community, the arts, recreation, and education. Please consider a donation today. The Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Well, welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection, and a big welcome to Senator.
Well, thank you. It's
Vicki
great to be here.
Jensen, yeah, nice to have you here. And I was sort of being a little quiet before and talking about, well, I just wanted to ask her, what's going on? Anything, anything important in your life? And I guess there is.
There is.
Yeah, you've made some announcements.
I have. I've decided to run for the 1st Congressional District seat here in the 1st Congressional District.
A big deep breath. You know what it'd be? I think it would be just give us a taste of what it was like to process that.
Right.
Coming from your stint at the state senate.
Right. So the main thing for me is that we were represented very well by Tim Walz for 11 years. He had common sense approach to how he legislated, and he did a great job representing and advocating for this district. When he announced that he was running for governor, I did think about, do I have the determination and the desire? Do I still have the desire that I had all the way through when I ran for school, when I was on the school board and advocated for rural education, and then moved up and ran for state senator? What things is it that I think I can bring and I can offer to the district? The main thing is I fit the district. I have an agricultural background and have been advocating for farm families for over a decade, and all of those things, most of what happens in agriculture, there are a lot of things that are important to farm families that happen at the federal level, especially the Farm Bill and some of the budgetary things that are coming out right now, and the proposals that they're making will impact them greatly. I want to make sure that I can get out there and fight for those things and make sure that there are those protections for our farm families. I'm a business owner, so I understand how it works and what it means, and the dedication and the commitment that it takes to make a self business that you put together yourself. How to make that work, and I've done that work at the state level on rural economic development is one of the main things that I worked on to make sure that our businesses can stay open on Main Street and that they can be productive and that our economy works. I worked on all kinds of things on LGA, on healthcare reform, a lot of issues that I have background and experience on and I feel very passionate about, and I want to bring that experience and that passion out to Washington. Because right now, some of the things that we're seeing, it just feels like they're out of touch with what's happening and how the outcomes of what they're proposing are going to impact people and their lives. When you sit down at a table like this and have a conversation about what's impacting your life, I just feel like they're out of touch.
Yeah, and not to end up going into some sort of political diatribe here, but I can't remember when I read or heard anything about roads and bridges.
And infrastructure.
It's all about some other little kind of just little.
Right, and that's another one that I worked on at the state level and have a knowledge of how the federal and the state work together in order to make some of that happen. Highway 14 is still there, still not done.
Yeah, for sure.
We made some progress when I was in the Senate, and we got 3.2 miles finished. But there's a lot of other infrastructure that needs to happen too. For instance, our septic and sewer and all this real
underground thing.
That some of our communities have just not been able to figure, to get the resources to do.
Yeah.
So we need to take a look at that. But of course, roads and bridges and that kind of infrastructure. But what I would like to focus on is let's get some broadband across southern Minnesota. They're actually right south of Waseca. There's a place where they don't even have access to internet. And if we want to be prepared, we're going to have a plan for all of our communities in southern Minnesota on how to address things like technology that is changing the automation, the way that we manufacture. We know that retail is going to be declining because we're shopping over the internet. But we can, if we have broadband available, there are businesses that are allowing people to work from home, and that's a great option. We need to set up and plan for the economy of the future and make sure that it includes all of our rural communities across the district.
Sure. In that, what you just have completed saying is that there are a lot of competing interests, however, aren't there?
Right.
When you become, even as a state senator, and I know even in local government, there become competing interests. How would you deal? How do you process that when you have to look at one group and say something, and you have to look at another group and say maybe something else?
Well, I guess I don't look at it that way,
Okay.
because you have to set your priorities on what you think are going to be the things that you should focus on, and make sure that focus. You understand what the outcome is, and then you can explain what you think that outcome is to any group, no matter which group it is that you're talking to. A great example is health care. How there isn't, for me, because I'm an insurance agent and understand the issue from that standpoint, and have worked on the exchange at the Minnesota Senate and how it's impacting the district. I have to determine what I believe is a way that we can help, or at least move something forward in a way. And a lot of times it's not that we need to change everything and make a great big change, but how do we keep that goal in mind, that people need access, affordable health care, and then talk about it from that perspective, and then try to move it forward in some way. And that's the common sense kind of legislation that I'm talking about, and the common sense approach to how do we deal with all these different interests. And it's a big thing that I bring to this race that a lot of people don't have. I've had to deal with that exact situation, and I know how to ground myself, form that priority, and then try to move it forward.
Yeah. Well, you're not in this alone.
No,
Yes,
there'll be people, there'll be others
so,
that choose to do it.
The caucus will, or the party will, go through its, so there's a vetting, I guess you call it.
Correct.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I respect that. That's our process, and I will absolutely abide by the endorsement. I believe that that's the way that we've set it up, so that people have that opportunity to choose who it is that they want to endorse and have that person move forward. It's going to be my responsibility to make sure that I can get out and talk to as many people as possible and let them know why I'm the candidate that I think can win the district.
So, first district, and some people may not know, that the first district goes from the river to South Dakota border.
Correct. Correct. All of southern Minnesota.
All of southern Minnesota to how far north? What would be the line to the northernmost?
It's a little.
community?
Well, it goes across and then comes up and then drops down to just one county on the other side. So it includes Mankato and Nicollet, and goes up above Faribault and then back down over Winona, Rochester, over in that area.
That way, yeah. Okay. So it's large.
It's very
it's
large.
A lot of traveling.
It is.
A lot of potlucks, I suppose.
But that's what I love about this process, is that it's up to the person to decide how much energy they can bring to a campaign, and how passionate you are about talking to the people and understanding from them where they're at, and if you think you can make a difference, and I still believe I can.
Yeah. See, and I think that's kind of key, isn't it? I mean, there's got to be something, the bean in the belly, the burning desire to. I mean, it's like any other vocation, if you will. Someone who decides they want to do this or that. This is what you've decided. This is for you.
This is what I've decided, because no matter which area I've been in, it's all been about, do I think I can make a difference in people's lives? And I do. I still believe that I can.
So you now have to get a kind of a machine going, don't you? You have to get your organization.
Right. It's different than running a Senate campaign, even though it's good that I've had that experience on what it takes to win in a tough district and how much time you have to spend and that. But this is different because it is a wider area, more people. But you also have to try to figure out how you're going to put that really good team in place that's going to be able to allow me to get out and talk to people, but you still have that team that's doing all the things that have to happen in order for you to win a campaign.
How much of that did you do prior to your announcement? I mean, in other words, you got somebody out in Nobles County. Yeah, you got someone there who's.
Well, I've already and I've already been out to at least 17 of the 22 counties to their meetings and to picnics and to we've had a parade already, and now, of course, the 4th of July. Happy 4th. We'll be out in a couple parades too over this time frame. But it does take not just the desire, like you're talking about, but also, do you understand, and do you want to have that contact?
And you need to have you need to have this group of people who burn with your desire.
Right.
You know, who are going to work as hard as you're going to work.
Right.
See that it happens. How about the family?
The family's great. So Miranda and Stephen are in St. Paul with baby Ezra, so grandmother, first grandchild. And Ryan and Haley are in Northfield, and they just bought their first home. And then we have Benjamin at home, just finished 7th grade, and he's doing a lot over the summer, so he's pretty busy. But they have always been very supportive and understanding of my desire to try to make a difference in our communities.
Good. So have you got a plan already set now that you know where you're going from? Now we're into July on primaries when? Let's talk about that.
I believe the primary will take place. The caucuses are in February, and people can move on to the county convention, and then they would try to be a delegate to the county convention. I think that happens in May. Sometime, and then the state convention would be in June.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I say primary, there may not be. You know, I mean, if you're going to have,
it's the endorsing process.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I shouldn't have said primary. It would have meant you had another opponent.
And I would hope that they would all abide by the endorsement. So we'll wait and see what they have to say about that.
All right. Well, there you are. It's take the deep breath and get your running shoes on.
That's right. I'm ready.
Good for you, and best wishes. I hope it goes well for you, and that you're equal to the task. I think you will be, and so we'll look forward to watching and hearing and seeing how everything works for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks for being here today.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. And thank you for being with us today. We're going to take a bit of a break for some commercial messages, and then we'll be right back. So please do not leave.
Hi, my name is Ryan Gillespie with Bremer Bank Mortgage. By trusting your home loan needs to Bremer Bank, you are guaranteed a personalized, straightforward, and honest experience from application to closing. We look forward to guiding you through your next home purchase or refinance.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Since 1988, the Owatonna Area Business Development Center has been the part of the success of many area businesses. The center leases office space and manufacturing space and offers on-site business consulting. The Owatonna Area Business Development Center is in business to help your business be a success.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Rick Smith, Golf Course Superintendent of the Brooktree Golf Course. Brooktree is an 18-hole championship golf course featuring well-manicured greens, tees, and fairways. We are open to the public. I challenge you to find a better maintained golf course for the money we charge here at Brooktree. Come on out and play Brooktree, a great golf course.
Welcome
Cedar
back
Valley
to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. We are here at Owatonna Hospital in the Penny George Institute for Health and Healing here in Owatonna, and I am with Linda Hoffman and Sharon Whalen. Ladies, welcome to the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi.
And we're going to start with you, Linda, because Penny George Institute has added a couple other of integrative therapies, and we'd like to find out about them. First, Linda, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I manage the Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute, and I've done that for the past 18 years, and also the Penny George Institute for Health and Healing. And I'm also a certified health and wellness coach, and that's one of the services that we've just added along with Healing Touch. So
Okay.
that's kind of why we're here today.
Okay, and we want to get a little intro from Sharon, so pass the microphone to her. And Sharon, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're not a stranger to Owatonna.
No, I've been to Owatonna several times now. Previously as director of nursing, and I was staff nurse, and currently I am here as an alternative complementary provider, and I am very excited to be here.
Okay, all right, pass it back to Linda. So Linda, we will start with you first, and what you've been certified in the health and wellness coaching. Did I get that correct?
Right. Well Coaches is the organization that I have a certificate through. And I'm currently studying to take there's going to be a national certification for health and wellness coaches. And so I'm
Okay.
preparing to take that national certification test.
All right.
So,
What is a health and wellness coach?
well, sometimes people benefit from having someone going alongside them to help them achieve what they want for their best self, so to speak. And so that might be anything from their physical self to maybe they're having difficulty with, like, I can't concentrate because there's too much clutter, or, that kind of thing. Or I'd like to develop a meditation practice, or whatever it is that they feel they need to get to where they want to be personally. And so the health and wellness coach helps them assess where they're at now, have a vision for where they'd like to be, and then help them take those little incremental steps so they can have successful progress towards that bigger goal.
Okay. So what if you have no idea? I mean, you know that you want to up your health and your wellness, but you're not quite sure what direction to go. What would you do with them the first time you meet?
Well, the first visit's about an hour long, and we do go through a pretty extensive interview process, looking at where they've been, where they think they might want to be, when they've felt their best, just to sort of help them get a vision for themselves of that place they want to get to, the shiny spot on the hill.
Okay. So you kind of help them then develop
their vision,
the vision,
the health and wellness vision.
And then lay out the objectives type thing. So is this just a one-time meeting thing, or
No, not usually.
How does it progress from your first initial intake?
The typical thing, I guess, and things do vary, people are individuals, is to have that longer visit the first time, and then maybe half an hour once every couple of weeks, once a month, depending on just exactly where the person's at, how much support they think they need. If they feel like I've got my game, I'm going to go do this, and I'd like to try it for a month and come back and see how things are going, then that's fine. And some people might say, let's check in every week to start with, because I really feel like I need the help. Whatever it is that the individual feels that they're going to benefit the most. And it can be in person or it can be over the phone. It works very well also sometimes over the phone if people have time or transportation issues or just don't want to look at me while they have to talk about them.
Well, I can't imagine that, but so why did you add this to the array of things that you already do here at Penny George?
Well, for me personally, it's a personal goal to provide this service, and it's also in the suite of things that overall Penny George as a organization provides as a service. So
Okay,
it's
and-
one of the things we can add here.
Oh, okay. Remind us what you currently have here before you added these two.
We
new
have had acupuncture and medical massage therapy since we opened in January, February of 2015.
2015, okay.
And so we've been adding, we now have 2 acupuncturists and 1 massage therapist.
Wow, okay. Pass the microphone back over to Sharon. And now, Sharon, we'll talk a little bit about your specific, you're here for Healing Touch, right?
Correct.
Okay, tell us what that is. It sounds a little, I don't know. Woo-woo. Nebulous, well, woo-woo, nebulous, out there.
Out there. Well, actually, Healing Touch is an energy therapy, and it deals with the energy of the body, which we all have, both internal and external. And it was developed officially and credentialed by a nurse, and it is registered and certified to the American Holistic Association. And so with this energy therapy, we work with creating a balanced atmosphere in the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual realm of our body as we go through various techniques with that. There are a lot of benefits, and I will share a few with you. One is to reduce pain, and it works very well with post-surgicals immediately.
Oh, okay.
We can reduce the pain, we can reduce the nausea and anxiety, and many of the people fall asleep right away. We also use it for supporting chronic and acute pain. We decrease anxiety with it. It supports cancer care. It increases the immune system's ability to help the body self-heal.
So how exactly does it work?
It works from the standpoint that we have major energy points in our body. Actually, we have 7 going up and then in each one of our joints. And with that, I work with a technique after I do initial assessment and realign and balance the energy in the body, and the patient basically just relaxes. We do not go into the body. We use some human touch and the various techniques and connect that energy with the body that's already there, and there might be some blocks due to injury, stress, pain, whatever, and we remove those and then continue to do the specific techniques based upon what the pre-assessment is in the patient or client states they have.
Okay, so this is I think the best way to illustrate this would be to actually give a demonstration, and Linda has kindly offered to be the demonstratee or tour.
I've actually been a client.
You have been a client, okay, all right.
Freebie.
All right, so let's go into one of your exam rooms and let's show people a bit about how this Healing Touch works.
Okay.
Sharon, we have relocated into one of your exam rooms, and Linda is now ready to experience the Healing Touch. Go ahead and start.
Okay, just to let everybody know, I would do a pre-assessment and understand, first of all, what the client is wanting for a goal to come in here, and also assess their pain, their stress, and if they're an inpatient, their nausea and that type of thing.
Okay.
Once I get that, I make a plan and I determine what I'm going to do. So the first thing I usually do is I start out at the foot level, and this is non-invasive, so I'm connecting with the patient's energy, with grounding myself, and they're relaxing, and basically just I'm kind of vegging out for this whole thing. Then I start out and I connect their main body energy points, and I do that by placing my hand after I've asked permission. Linda, it's okay I touch you. And anytime the patient wants to stop, we can. And basically I come up, since this is a video short, I'm going to come rapidly.
Okay.
I come up the joints and work it, and then I come up on this side and I do the same thing. I connect that level. Then basically I come up the main core of the body. And obviously you can't do it this fast.
No.
And up, and then I come up the hands and this and connect those. Then I come up here and I connect the throat chakra, which is the communication with our basically insight area that we have. We connect it with the crown where we get our information from spiritual energy and then connect it out. By that time, I checked for the various points to make sure they're open and balanced, because that's key for the rest of the treatment. If she had pain in a particular area, then I'd use a technique that basically breaks up the stagnant energy in that area, and we get rid of that energy, and then we basically put in some energy that's positive and healing light, and if we need to, we can drain the pain energetically.
Okay.
With that.
How long does this generally take then when a patient comes to you?
Treatment is about, usually if it's a private patient, we do that 50 minutes. And if we do initial assessment, it's going to take another 10-15 minutes because we've got to get a baseline.
Okay.
And then after that, we set goals for the patient or the client when they're going out.
Okay, all right. And Linda, if you want to sit up, and we're going to be ending the segment here. How did that feel, just that little bit?
Well, you know, that's kind of silly, but I've had it done as a client, and it's wonderful.
Okay. So tell us how we contact Penny George so that the general public will be able to access the new services that you're providing here.
We share the registration desk with the Courage Kenny people, so they can just call the 507-977-2150 number and make an appointment, or if they have questions, they can call 507-977-2828, I believe is our Penny George department number, and then whoever's in that day might be able to help answer a question.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today, ladies, and we certainly appreciate that the hospital is bringing in more integrative, holistic type therapies to help people with whatever their particular ills may be.
So thank you so much.
Yes, and please stay with us. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Cedar Valley Services, located at the corner of Rose and Grove in Owatonna, provides an array of services for people with disabilities in Steele County. CVS thanks the entire community, especially our business customers, for supporting us in Owatonna for 43 years. Thank you from CVS.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. Thanks for staying with us. We've got just a couple of community announcements this day. Join the Steele County Historical Society for its 31st annual extravaganza, being held on July 16th at the Village of Yesteryear from 11:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Admission is free. And Wine, Women, and Golf for the very beginner or non-golfer. This will be at Brooktree Golf Course out on Cherry Street. And we would be looking at Saturday, July 15th from 2 to 3:30, also on the 15th from 3:30 to 5, or Wednesday, July 26th from 3 to 4:30. $15 fee includes 3 holes of golf, 1 helper to answer questions, and a glass of wine. And that'll take care of it for today. Come back on Wednesday when we will have Brad Meyer and Kim Schaffenbuhl who'll talk about workforce initiatives, and also Nicole Grams from the Steele Waseca Drug Court. Happy and safe Independence Day for you all, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday.